So we just saw Deontay Wilder destroy BERMANE, STIVERNE and around, and the talk is, where does he go from here? So I'm going to give my opinions in this video. Where does Deontay Wilder go from here? Well, it's obviously a matter of opinion for me, but I'll give my 2 pence worth, or even what it is. Wilder's got a lot of criticism for his level of opposition. Fair enough. If you're a world champion, you need to be taking on the upper echelon of the heavyweight division. Wilder hasn't necessarily been doing that. He has fought some good fringe contenders, and he has fought some fairly decent level contenders. He's took on guys like Artur Szpilka. Artur Szpilka was technically maybe better than Wilder, and he did show a good display against Deontay Wilder. He boxed well, and Wilder eventually caught him with that spectacular right hand, which sent him to sleep. And there's other guys like Duopa and all. Duopa is he's not obviously world class level, but he is a good level contender. So it hasn't been fighting journeyman as such. It has fought journeyman, obviously. Everyone fights journeyman, but it hasn't been fighting journeyman as of recent, as his reign as a champion. I mean, there was some guys that he could have went without facing, maybe like Eric Molina, for example. But he's fought the Washingtons. They could have went without fighting Areola actually too, but Areola was a replacement, so it's not really his fault for the Areola fight. But I'm just saying, I knew that Wilder was way above Areola. You know what I mean? But I would obviously like to see him in with the Povetkin's of the world and the David Hayes or whatever, and the Joseph Parkers and Anthony Joshua's, but I think he needs a Dylan White on his record, or Robert Helenius, or one of these guys, or I don't know. I mean, maybe not a David Hay as such, but if he beat a David Hay caliber fighter, it would obviously look good. Well, obviously, if you watched the tail end of my last video, I want the fight with Dominic Breazeale to happen next. I think that fight should happen. That's no walkover for Wilder. I do think Wilder beats him, but as far as that fight, I think that is a good fight for him. It's a grudge match, and it could be easily made. Someone let me know if you know. Is Breazeale with Al Haymon? I'm not sure, but if Breazeale's with Al Haymon or Lou DiBella, whoever promotes him, then it should make a good fight or whatever, and it might be a good build up. It'll be a grudge match. They may have to be separated for head to head, because they might not let them too close to each other, because obviously what happened in that hotel lobby that night after Wilder beat Washington. But both guys have been winning, coming off wins. It makes sense to make that fight, and it can probably be easily made. As far as the money side, it might be okay. I mean, Breazeale's getting more popular now in America. He's fighting guys like Eric Molina and Anthony Joshua and guys like that. That will help him, help his popularity to a certain extent. Eric Molina, he's fought guys like Joshua and Wilder, obviously. So he's got a common opponent with Wilder, which is good. And he's got the Joshua fight, which he didn't win, obviously, but it will have helped him a wee bit with his popularity and his profile. So, another thing about having fought Anthony Joshua is, if Wilder beats him spectacularly or something, and beats him better than Joshua did, well then that sets up a fight with Joshua. That could probably be an instant next match up if this happens to take place, if this happens to manifest, you know what I mean? So if he beats Breazeale, well then that sets up a Joshua fight quite naturally. But who else? I mean, Dillian White, yes, a Dillian White fight. I mean, February 3rd, if he wants to fight February 3rd. I mean, he could get back in the ring for February because he didn't have a tough fight. So I think, well, fair enough. You have to take into consideration that he's had a training camp, and you know he will need a few weeks off from boxing to regroup himself and then get back to the training camp. But he could, fight. He can fight in February or March. There's no point in waiting until the middle of next year to have a fight unless you can't make a fight. But have a fight in February or March and fight the likes of Dillian White or someone. But Dillian White, I mean, he's a Josh former opponent as well. So if Deontay Wilder were hypothetically to beat Dillian White easier than Anthony Joshua did, then that sets up a fight with him too. And it would make it a bigger fight in the UK, so it would. Because White's obviously UK, Joshua's UK. White is not as big a star as Joshua in the UK, but it would definitely make a lot of definitely grow Wilder's popularity if he beats someone like a Dillian White, for example. So that's a possible fight. It's one I wouldn't mind seeing myself, but it's not really like I don't really care. I don't really mind if it happens, but I don't mind if it doesn't happen. I mean, personally, I want to see Deontay Wilder in with guys who are on that level. You know what I mean? Like the sort of fringe word level or whatever. Guys who are in their prime of their careers. I want to see him in with them kind of guys. The guys in their late 20s or whatever, coming off wins and that. I don't want him to see him fighting STIVERNE's at 2-year layoffs, and Chris Ariolas and what have you. So, yes, I would like to see that. Now, some of the American people, or maybe the Brooklyn people, they might want to see him in with Big Baby Miller, and I personally would be disgusted if that fight happens. And I'll give you my reason why. And my reason is, I think Big Baby Miller stylistically, I don't really like him, and I know that's going to shock a lot of people. But I watched the Jared Washington fight, and I mean, I was just like, first of all, Washington didn't really have the mental strength or the mental fortitude. Anyway, he doesn't really have a fighter's heart. He won't necessarily make it a top level. No disrespect to him. I mean, he's obviously done something right to get as he's got, but he's just not quite that caliber. But he's up there. But I don't necessarily enjoy Miller's style and that kind of stuff, and I don't necessarily think Miller's particularly great. I mean, I'd prefer Derek Chisora to Jarrell Miller, even though they're similar style, but Jarrell Miller, his punches seem to have no sting to them, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, if I were to get in the ring with him and he hit me in the face, I mean, it would obviously hurt me, you know what I mean? But he's obviously, if he punches you, it's not gonna tickle, but because he's a heavyweight at the end of the day, but he doesn't have that respectable punching power at world level against guys like Deontay Wilder. So he's not going to get Deontay Wilder's respect with his punching power. And I think it will just be quite a dull fight, to be honest with you. I think Wilder would probably destroy Big Baby Miller. There are going to be people arguing here that Dillian White maybe didn't have the most respectable punching power in the world. Well, I kind of disagree to that, but the main thing is, I think Dillian White's skill set will be better than Big Baby Miller's. And I think Dillian White's skill set, excuse me, I think Dillian White's skill set would also be better than Dominic Breazeale's as well. He may not necessarily punch as hard as Dominic Breazeale, fair enough, but I think his skill set would be better than Dominic Breazeale's as well. So, who knows, maybe the Dillian White fight would perhaps be the best of the three in terms of the entertainment. And as far as any other opponents, that's all I have. I think them three could be in the mix. Derek Chisora, I don't think wants a Wilder fight, and he lost anyway. And who else is there really? I mean, that's what you have. I mean, I obviously don't want to see any of the other guys in with Deontay Wilder. I think Brazil is at that level, and White is at that level of opposition that Wilder needs to be fighting. Big Baby Miller maybe is too, but I personally, excuse me, I personally think that Big Baby Miller isn't going to really light up the heavyweight division. No disrespect to him, maybe I'm sounding a bit negative, but I just don't see what he can really do, because maybe if he got his weight down to 265 or something, you know, try and be a bit more athletic, maybe he can get a bit more zing in his punches, a bit more zap on his punches, and maybe he can do a bit better. But I don't really want to look forward to him just, pinning a guy in the ropes and just punching him for like that for X round, you know what I mean? I mean, I want to see a bit of dynamic boxing, and I think that Dylan White and even Dominic Brazil can give that, you know what I mean? Like, they can box and they can maybe move a bit. They're not going to just pin you on the rope. And with White, White counter punches and stuff as well. White sometimes, boxes off the ropes. I don't think it will against Wilder right enough, but these guys can be more tricky for Wilder. I think if Big Baby comes in and just lunges forward and tries to pin him up against the ropes, I just don't think it'll be exciting. I think Wilder would stop Big Baby Miller anyway fairly easily. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he'd have too much trouble with Big Baby Miller. And Big Baby Miller said before that he beat up Wilder in sparring. I find that hard to believe. I just sound like I'm a Big Baby Miller hater. Look, I've nothing against the guy. I mean, he's out there trying to make a living or whatever. And, maybe he'll prove me wrong. And if he does, well then, good for him, because I'm not an expert in boxing. I'm not really, you know what I mean? I'm not one of the experts. I mean, I'm just a guy giving my opinions. At the end of the day, my opinion don't really mean jack shit in the grand scheme of things, because if he proves me wrong, well then my opinion obviously means shit. If it proves me right, well then, you know what I mean? It's subjective at the end of the day. But good luck to him. I don't wish any ill on the man. I just would like to see certain improvements. I think, he's young, he could have some more dimensions to his game. And that's what personally I want to see, is I want to see him improving. I want to see some dimensions to his game. And I think Brazil and White, I think they've got that. You know what I mean? So there's nothing personally against them. And I mean, I've been talking for a long time. I personally like the long marathon style videos. So, I said previously on a previous video, I'll maybe link up to it if I remember, that I want the videos to be a higher quality, and I believe that me giving a decent length of a video is higher in the quality, because I'm giving you gossip basically, or I'm not scamming you, so I'm not putting up a wee shimmy 2-minute video that barely covers the surface of what I want to talk about. You know what I mean? So that's what I've decided. I just take my time with these things, and maybe the videos will turn out better, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. Anyways, there will be links come up on your screen that you can click on, even on your phone or on your laptop, for other videos of mine. And there will also be a link for my channel on the screen. You can just go on to and check out my other videos if you want to. I'd be much appreciated. And let me know what you think of my ideas or whatever in the comment section below, or also give your own ideas. Anyways, that's me for now. This is Peter's King. Thanks for watching.